All right, what's going on? I have it's a pretty crazy deck going on here. I like to call it P.N.T.S. It is Punk, Nemesis, Tri-Brigade, and Sprite. So it's a pretty cool deck profile, I like to think. Basically, it's a 60 card pile. All the engines semi work together, and it's got some cool techs in it. Make some cool boards. It's pretty consistent from what I found, just because there's a bajillion starters in it. So let's get into the profile. First, we have the Sprite engine. So we have Jets, Blues, Beavers, and then Pixie and Red. I don't play Carrot in the main because I'm not a fan of Carrot. It just feels weak, negating one spell or trap and then it's just done. I don't know. I'd rather have Red. Just negating a monster is a little bit stronger. And then I play 3 starter, 2 smashers. We're on 60 cards. So just playing a lot of Sprite cards is good. Double smashers is helpful. It's nice to main deck removal. For the Nemesis engine, just 3 flag, 1 Escados. Flag searches Escados. Escados will wreck your opponent. So usually, if anything, if you feel like you're not going to go into Escados, just getting the card and using Escados as your card to replace off of Bear Broom is pretty good. So just increasing your card advantage. Yeah. So also off of Farragy, yeah, just having the extra card is good. And then these have the added bonus where you can special summon it by shuffling back one of your banished cards. So it becomes a pretty good extender, sometimes a starter if you need a level 2. And then my Punk engine, just 3 of the Punks. We have E-Telly, Deer Note, Foxy Tune, and Z-Amin. Yeah, E-Telly's good. I play Gamma too, so it's another level 2 extender. Z-Amin brings out Foxy Tune. Foxy Tune brings out Deer Note, and then you can go into Synchro 8s. Also, just because there's so many engines running in the deck and you have so many monsters, I do play Small World. Basically, I have like a whole laundry list of bridges that you can go into. I'll get into that towards the end of the video. So yeah, just small Punk engine, but it adds cards to your hand through Jam Drive, so that's pretty good. For the Tri-Brigade engine, just pretty standard. I got those prismatic kits. Ooh, that looks good. Triple Fractal, triple kit, double Nerval, Karis, and then Tankies and a Revolt. Pretty good. You don't need 3 Nervals. Nerval is actually a little bit of a brick because we don't play Almirage anymore, so it can be difficult to get it out of your hand if it's in your hand. So you kind of don't want to see Nerval, but you need to have 2 in your deck. You can't just play with 1. But it's nice to have 2 because with the Nemesis engine, you could have Nemesis flag, put your Nerval back, and then that'll be like your third Nerval. Hand traps. We're playing against a lot of tier elements, so we have to prepare for it. Playing Triple Crow, Triple Bell, and then Triple Nib. We do play Ogres because we need to, we don't necessarily need to, but it's just a good hand trap. Ogre is also good against Sprite, so if that comes up, Ogre is good. Gammas and the driver, and then I play 3 Eradicator because you do put out Shureg, which is a 3k body, so that can eliminate a lot of people, especially against Runic. This card is really good. because you just hit spells, and then anytime they draw a spell off of the runic field spell, assuming they activate it, and it just gets destroyed. Anytime they draw a spell, it gets destroyed. Yeah, just anti-spell stuff. I think this lineup is really good, and all of these hand traps serve as a bridge for Small World in some way. So for the extra deck, for the synchros, play Omega, good for a hand rip. Punk Jam Dragon Drive, that's our new 8. We can't play Chaos Ruler anymore since it's banned, so we go into this, and then we add Ghost Ogre. So it's still like a little bit of card advantage. You get just a hand trap that you can use. It can also be used to put back the Revolt. And then this guy, when you make it off of Deer Note, you can bring back Foxy Tune, and then you can make Hope Harbinger or any other Xyz 8. You can make Harbinger, you can make Zombie Vampire, just whatever is calling to you. I think in this format, having a spell negate is good. That being said, I don't like Carrot, but Harbinger is good. So, but I think Harbinger is also good. It's also a dupe frog because it protects, or it forces your opponent to attack Harbinger. So it is a little bit better than Carrot in that sense. So you can protect your elf, and it's also spell trap negate. With the Jam Dragon Drive, you could also go into Psychic and Punisher. You add, if this is off of E-Telly, you can just normal summon the Ogre and then Synchro 11 into Psychic and Punisher. Just a super hard body to out. Other Xyz, play 2 Gigantic, because you just have to. It's good. Double Elf. Elf is good. You don't need 3. Yeah, I don't think you need 3. I've never really needed a 3rd one. Pit Knight, to link off your tri-brigades at the end of your combo to get your Revolt. It's also another, it's like a Forbidden Chalice or Chi Zhao kind of card where just a monster negate. 1 Bear Broom and 1 Baron Blossom. I don't really go into Baron Blossom, but if you are stuck on only tri-brigades, this card will get you your combos going. And then I do play Doom Eagle as our link 3, and then 2 Shurig Access Code, and that is pretty much the extra deck lineup. Let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 2 rows of 6, so that's 15. Yeah, honestly, if you're not playing the Punk engine, like if you think it's bad right now, all this can go out. You can play whatever else you want to play. Dark, IP, Appaloosa, all that good stuff. And then for the side deck, we got Mystic Mind Hate, extra Smashers to side in. I do have the Carrot. I play Witch's Strike, and then a little Trap Trick package. When you're going first, I think just having a bunch of just having traps is better than hand traps. Witch's Strike is good. I feel like there's a lot of negates in the meta. Actually, is there? Honestly, this is your meta call. If you don't want to play Witch's Strike, if you don't know what it does, if your opponent negates normal special summon of a monster or the activation of a card or effect, destroy all cards your opponent controls and in their hand. So if you use your elf, you activate your elf and they bell it, you can destroy their whole field and hand. So that's pretty good. Against tier elements, this could be tricky, but I think just hitting 6 cards out of your opponent's hands is like, it's like, oh well, you get your fusions, but I still went +5. So it's still good. Double track check so you can search your traps, and then the Revolt so that you can have 2 in deck to use the trap trick. So going first, you just have just a bunch of traps. to play. I think traps are really good. If you really wanted to, you could switch this for like a torrential or something. That would be pretty good, because then you could torrential your board and then revolt, and then, yeah, I don't know. If you want to play something else, you can play something else. Oh, maybe Drolls? Drolls are pretty good in this meta. And then I have 3 alphas going second. Actually, I think I might... Yeah, Drolls are good in some scenarios, not so great in others. It's your call. As far as how the combos go, it's pretty simple. A lot of the combos just run independently of each other, and if they meet up, they meet up. So a lot of it is just intuition and knowing what to play. So for this first one, we'll just say we have an E-Telly. All the punk stuff, I just have it run independently of everything else. And then just use it to get hand traps out of your opponent's hand. And then you can play with all your other stuff, because then they'll be like, oh, it's a punk player. I'll just burn all my hand traps on this. So you would go E-Telly. Summon Amen. Amen searches Foxy Tune. Foxy Tune, you'll send a random card to your grave, whatever. And then you'll special summon Deer Note. Deer Note and Amen will synchro 8. For Jam Dragon. Oh yeah, this gets sent to the grave too. And then you'll go Jam Dragon 1, Deer Note 2 to special summon Foxy Tune, Amen 3 to give Dragon 600 attack. So that gains attack. Add the special summon the Foxy Tune, and then that'll add Ogre to your hand. And then what you do here is you just overlay both 8s for Hope Harbinger. And now off of E-Telly, it is a 1.5 card combo, because you do need a random card in your hand, but it also adds a card back, so you go net neutral, and then you end with a spell negate and your Ogre. And then this is also your Dupe Frog, because it forces your opponent to attack it. And then typically, if you have another way of starting your combos, let's say we have a starter in hand, or Fractal, or Tenki, you would go starter. And then that would grab, this is a very typical hand. Like if you have this, it's kind of hard to lose. Blue, we'll just say blue grabs the Jet. Where did the Jet go? Jet would add your Smasher. Where is the Smasher? So now you would overlay into Gigantic effect, detach to special summon Kit. It's also important you do your punk stuff first, because you can't do it after you start your sprite stuff. And then you would link these two for Elf. Now we're locked into level, link, and rank 2s, so Elf. Then we get our Kit effect. It'll dump Nerval. Nerval is going to add Fractal. And then off of Fractal, you are going to send Beaver. And then you're going to go Elf effect, targeting Kit. Special summon Kit. Kit effect, you'll banish Fractal and Nerval. Leave the Beaver engraved because it's level 2, you might need it. That'll grab your Bear Broom. And then you can link these guys for Pit Knight. And then Bear Broom, What do we say? This is just like E-Telly. So you would have 3 other cards in hand. So Bear Boom would just add your Revolt. Where's the Revolt? Where'd it go? Am I missing it? Am I just... Oh, it's in my side deck. That's where I put it. Yes, that adds the Revolt, puts a card on the bottom, and then that is the end of your combo. So here, you have 2 in hand. Could have been anything else, extra cards to play with. I think what makes this build really good is that if this gets Dark Rulered, or let's say these get Super Polyed because they're both fires, or whatever, Sphere Mode, if these all get wiped out, you still have the hand trap, and you still have your Revolt and your Smashers. You might not be able to use your, granted you might not be able to use your Smashers if they all get like destroyed or whatever, but you still have your Revolt, Ogre, and 2 cards, so it's just a very like resilient build. And if they out your back row, you still have a really strong front row. Or if they do both, then that's just GG, they drew better. But with the elf, right, you can bring back your blue and then grab a pixie. And then that's just even more protection. So if they try to attack your elf, they have to get through the Harbinger. They also have to get through your pixies. Pit Knight could also negate a card. Ogre is there. You have your Smashers, and then after everything is cleared, you Revolt them, hit whatever's on their board, and then you just kind of win. So it's a pretty strong deck. Your opponent is kind of forced to choose what they have to stop. They're just forced to choose, like, do we stop the punks or do we stop the sprite cards? If we choose to stop the sprite cards, then you can go to your tri-brigade plays. So it just forces your opponent to think a lot more, and they don't really know how your deck operates, so that puts you at an advantage. Granted, you are playing Sprite, so they kind of do know what's going to happen if they let everything resolve. You'll just put up a board that they're trying to break. And then the Nemesis cards they're just there. they just add an extra layer of ways to win. If your opponent Scythe locks you, you can go into a Scados as your win con instead. What else? Yeah, so let's look at some of these small world plays. So it is a 60 card deck. You're gonna brick. Doesn't happen often just because there's so many starters. But let's say your first combo got hit, and you can't play with one of your engines, so now you gotta go into some other engine. So first one is, if you have Small World, you can either have Kit or, yeah, just Kit. Honestly, if you have Kit, no way to get into Grave, or you need something else. Let's say you want to get your tri-brigades going. You have Kit, you would banish Foxy Tune. And then, because these are both beasts, and then you can add another beast, which is different from the Foxy Tune, which is your Nimble Beaver. So you can also do this with Keras. So if you brick on just opening Keras and Small World, you can trade them in for Beaver. And then with Beaver, you can get your tri-brigade play, or your sprite plays going. So that would be small world plus kit, or if you want to go from beaver to kit, you can do the same thing. It would just go backwards. So if you wanted to get your tri-brigade stuff, just go the other way. And then if you have small world and you have an ogre, and let's say you have other hand traps, but you have ogre. Ogre's probably your weakest hand trap, so you want to get rid of it anyways. So you go with small world, ogre, and then ogre banishes. Oh, actually, I don't think this one works. Nib. They're both lights. And then from there, you can grab. Where is the Amen? You can grab the Amen. So then you can go into your punk plays. Because these are both lights, and these ones are different levels, and then they're at 600 defense both. You could also do, let's see. If you have Bell, if you want to get rid of Bell, you can go Bell, and you want to add Nibiru to your hand because you're playing. Let's say you're playing against T-elements, and you want to stop them on the crackback. You just do. Oh wait, no, this doesn't work. Bell. Oh, Bell. Never mind. Forget I said any of that. But you can go Bell, Keras into any of your sprite cards. So Jet, Jet, Blue, or Pixies. Wherever the Pixies is. Because these are both Earth. And these ones are just, they only share level 2 with Keras. So small world plus Blow equals any of your sprite cards that you want to see. As long as you get a level 2 on board, you're good to play. And then some other ones, notable ones is, where's my beaver? If you have beaver that has 100 defense, you could banish Crow. And then with Crow, you can actually add any of your sprite, any of these 3 sprite cards, because they're all darks. So that's a pretty cool one. Because sometimes you open beaver, but you don't want to normal summon it, and you would rather just have a sprite to go into. If you're in a pinch, though, that's pretty helpful. I think those are the most notable ones. You can also go, if you open Crow, you can go Beaver into Foxy Tune. That one's pretty good. If you want to add Foxy Tune to your hand, that can get out Gear Note. And then if you have a tuner in hand, any of your other hand trap tuners, you can Synchro 8 and then go into some other plays. Let me think what else. Ogre. From Ogre, I think you can go to Nib. And then that could, I think we already did this. Ogre, Nib into Ziamin. That one would work. I think I already talked about that. If you wanted to go the other way, for whatever reason, you can put an Ogre into your hand, just to add an extra hand trap at the end of your combo. But yeah, Small World, you got so many cards in your deck that there's a lot of bridges. I'm sure there's a lot more. I just really haven't thought about it too much. But yeah, it's a pretty good card. So I think that's pretty much the end of this. Let me know what you think about the deck, and if there's any changes you'd make, if you would or would not play the Punk engine, because I'm kind of iffy about it, just because of the hits to Chaos Ruler and Halka Fibrax. Let me know and put it in the comments. So, peace out.